It is time to start Module 4. Woo! Okay, you don't have to be quite that excited. But Module 4 is the last module, and it is probably the shortest module. So, probably going to be in the same outfit all day. Well, for the whole module anyway. Module 4 consists of 2 chapters, Chapter 8 and Chapter 9. There is like one section in Chapter 8, and we're going to fly through it. The reason is because everything in Chapter 8 will be taught again to you in Chapter 9. In fact, it's going to be taught a completely different way in Chapter 9. Much more thorough and easier to understand. So just kind of stick with me a little bit in Chapter 8. We'll kind of breeze through it, give you the glossy version. And then when we get into Chapter 9, I'll teach you the way you'll be able to do it from now on. When you get to a test, you'll do it the way you learned it in Chapter 9, not the way we go over it in Chapter 8. So this is really just kind of an introduction to stuff. It's not anything I expect to stick with you for a while. Take a deep breath. It's okay. Don't panic. I got you. You've lasted this long. I'm saying you're going to be okay. Also, before I forget, there are 2 surveys coming out. At least one survey you're going to have to do. There'll be at least one survey on the course that you'll have to do. You will get a screen at the end of that survey saying that you have completed that survey. You will want to take a picture of that screen and email it to me. That will get you the 5 points extra credit on your last chapter test. You will want to do that. Make sure you email it to me. But I want to say there is another survey that will also come out. It's just like the Start, Stop, Continue survey that you did, where if you take a picture of that survey too, that it will also count as the 5 points added onto the test. This is how you get the extra credit in Module 4. It's the surveys that you do. So now you understand. Extra credit in Module 3 was something different. Extra credit in Module 4, this is how you do it. So that's what's going on. Alright, so stick with me. This is how we roll. Okay, so for section 8A, we're talking about growth of linear versus exponential. When we talk about linear things, they have to be in a line. When we talk about exponential things, they grow by percentage. And linear obviously is a line, so exponential is not going to be a line, it's going to be a curve. Now, it's not going to look like a curve to you. Every time you see it, it's going to look like a line because we're getting a very up close picture of it. But if you look very, very far away, you'll see that it starts to curve. But because it's a percentage, it's obviously going to be a curve eventually. And it's the eventual part that you have to know about. Linear growth means that it goes up. Linear decay means that it's going down. Addition would be the growth part. Subtraction would be the decay part. And it is absolute every time because it is linear. So it changes by the same amount every single time. An example would be the number of students at Wilson High School has increased by 50 each time in the past 4 years. If the student population was 754 years ago, what is it today? So what they want us to do is say that Wilson High School had 750 4 years ago. So we would have to add what it is increasing by for every year. So we would add 50 4 times. And we would end up with It's 80, 850, 900, 950. 950 students. And that's all fine, good, and wonderful. And when we talk about the decreasing, it says the tax law allows you to depreciate the value of your equipment by $200 per year if you purchased the equipment 3 years ago for $1,000. What is its depreciated value today? So we're depreciating it, which means it's going down. Since it's going down, we have to start with what it was before. So it was $1,000, and we are going down by $200 per year. And we're doing that for 3 years. So I got $200 that I'm subtracting for 1 year, for 2 years, and then for another 3 years. So that's 800 minus another 200 is 600 minus another 200 is 400. Excuse me. So that's $400. Give me a second. All right, back to you. So if we talk about exponential, it doesn't work the same. Exponential growth and decay, growth means it's going up, decay means it's going down, works by multiplication of the same relative percentage. It has to be a percentage. So if you don't see a percentage in the question, then that means it has to be linear. I can do this. So exponential means there has to be a percentage in the problem. There has to be a percentage in the problem. Exponential automatically means percentage. So you are going to be multiplying by that percentage. That will tell you how much you change every single year. For example, the price of milk has been rising by 3% per year. If the price of a gallon of milk was $4 a year ago, what is the price now? It was $4 1 year ago. It's been rising by 3%. So if it's been rising by 3%, then I need to find out how much it rose between last year and this year. So I would multiply my 4 by 0.03, because that's what 3% is. And we would get calculators fail me every time. Come unprepared every time. Sorry. 4 times 0.03, 12 cents. So this 12 cents is how much it rose. So that means that it costs $4.12 now. Now you could fix this by, instead of making it the $4, instead of multiplying it by 1 by the 0.03, you do it by 1.03. Because you include the whole in it, and you don't have to do the whole addition part. We talked about that way back when. I think it was module 2, way back when we first started talking about percentages. We talked about how you could do that, but it's all coming back. The price of high-definition TV sets has been falling by about 25% per year. If the price today is $1,000, What can you expect it to be in 2 years? Well, if we are losing 25%, 25% of $1,000 is $250 off. So that's 1,000 minus the 250. Which gives you 750. That's what it is after 1 year. Then we have to figure out what 25% of that is. Because it's 2 years. So I got to do it again. So I multiply that times 0.25. And that ends up being 187.5. So then I have to take my 750 and subtract my 187.5. And we end up with 562.5. Now you're saying to yourself, this, don't like that. Don't like that at all. Don't like that at all. I can understand why you wouldn't like that at all. I don't like it at all either. That's a long way of doing things. But when we get to chapter 9, we show you a nice simple way of doing it. That's why I said stick with me through chapter 9. There is a nice simple way. I won't make you do it that way ever again. So, for example 1, the population in Meadowview is increasing at a rate of 300 people per year. They want to know, is it linear or exponential? Well, if it's increasing at a rate of 300 people per year, is that a percentage or is that an absolute amount? It's an absolute amount. That makes it linear. Then they want to know what it's going to be in 4 years. So we'd have to take our 2,400 and add the 300 4 times. If we do that, we end up with, that's right, 3,600. Going on down to example 2. They talk about hyperinflation, which we are not far from. During an episode of hyperinflation that occurred in Venezuela in 2016, the price of food increased at a rate of about 40% per month. If a food item cost 1,000 bolivars, the country's unit of currency, at the beginning of this period, what was the price 4 months later? Want to know about 4 months later. So we start with $1,000 times not 0.04 times 0.4. Not 0.4, because we're talking about 40%. So that's going to be 400. So that's 1,000 plus 400. That's 1,400. That's after 1 month. So to get another month, I take that, multiply it by 0.4. That gives me 560. So I've got my 1,400 plus my 560. That is 1960, that's after 2 months, times my 0.4. That gives me 784. 784. So 1960 plus 784 is 2744 times my 0.4. That's 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. This will be 4 months. $1097.60. So 2744 plus 1097.60 gives you 3841.60. 4 months later, that same item, it's exponential because we're doing a percentage. 4 months later, that same item is 3,842 bolivars. That's a lot. But, like I said, there is an easier way of doing it than all of this, and we'll go over that when we get to section 9C. That's when you get the easy way. So, we'll talk about that later.